Welcome to Backyard Family Fun, the podcast from Pride Pool Spas and Leisure Products. In Claxton and Savannah, Georgia, celebrating 50 years serving our community, this family-owned business has spent decades helping create memories that last a lifetime. Whether you're a pool owner, a spa lover, or just looking to turn your outdoor space into a true retreat, we've got you covered right here on the Backyard Family Fun podcast. And as a crazy awesome deal for our Backyard Family Fun podcast fans, you get 10% off anything inside either location in Claxton and Savannah, excluding pools, hot tubs, or saunas when you mention the podcast. That's all you have to do. Go and visit the Claxton or Savannah Pride pools, mention the podcast, and get 10% off. Now that's a reason to celebrate. Welcome back to Backyard Family Fun, brought to you by Pride Pools, Spas, and Leisure Products. We're in the Savannah location for this episode. Very excited to be hanging out with my friend Marshall Smith, who is here as well. We've got a really good topic to dive into today. Marshall and I finally turning on the mic after we were going down memory lane about the seasons here in Georgia.
You never know what you're going to get in South Georgia here lately, it seems like. Yeah.
It can be a mixed bag.
Snow earlier in the year.
Yeah, we got
hurricane season is upon us. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So you just kind of have to be ready.
Yeah, you do have to be ready.
Yeah.
You do, which is kind of one of the things we're talking about today. Really, what you need to be ready, what you don't need to be ready.
Yeah.
Kind of the good versus the bad when it comes to caring for your pool, caring for your spa. Having that in front of you, kind of a pros cons list, kind of a do this, don't do this list.
Right.
It's a good thing.
Well, it is, and I think we have to harken back to the basic fundamentals of what you're doing with your pool, right? So you understand what it takes to take care of your pool on a daily basis or a routine. And so, we don't want to shy away from that too much when it comes to, if we're going to talk about prepping for storms or whatever, hurricane season, different types of seasons that we go through. You don't stray away from too much of what you normally would do in your basic fundamental practices of basic pool care. And so we with our educational pool schools, the things that we do to try to educate the consumer, we try to make sure they understand it is simple, it's easy. Don't, no fence, no trying to fix, the wheel's not broken, so let's don't fix it. So yeah, the good and bad, keep it good. Don't do anything much different. Other thing we would do is do some prep work maybe when it comes time to get into a season where there could be volatile times with hurricane season.
Mm-hmm.
We would advise to do certain things a little bit different maybe, but you never stray from the core of what you're doing. But we explain to people what chemically, if we talk about chemical side of it, what to do to top off those levels, to do things to prevent. And I go back, Dee, I always talk about, preventative care. It's like, what is the adage? An ounce of prevention is easier than a pound of headache, or the cure for a pound of headache, right? So if you just do the prevention, it is a lot easier to maintain. And so when we do have an issue, it's easier to get caught up too.
Mm-hmm.
So than trying to have, preventative care versus corrective care is our motto. And even during any season. So, as that is coming upon us, we advise our customer base to make sure we are doing the fundamentals, but then we may just top those levels off when it comes to chemical side of it. So yeah, pretty basic. We don't stray away from the fundamentals.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and it does go a long ways to have that routine in place so that you can, hopefully avoid some big headaches.
Yeah. Well, it's a big investment.
Yeah.
Whether you purchase the home, you have the pool there, or if you have a home and you built the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, it's an investment into the quality of life. And we see it as an enhancement to medicinal. We see it enhancement to just the socioeconomics of life.
Yeah.
As a benefit. And so, yeah, you want to just, keep it simple, the KISS method. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we just keep it simple, and we don't want to try to disrupt that. And so, yeah, I think, going forward, let's just do the basic things that are going to keep everything where they need to be. And then, and I will say this, each backyard, each body of water is completely different. So even though there's a fundamental toolbox for care, each one has a little bit different prescription just because of the volume of water,
Right.
the surface of the product, all that goes into the equation.
Right.
So it's important for us to help you understand that better so that you've got that preventative care in the right formula.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, Marshall, you're not a big fan of calling a pool owner or a spa owner, don't do this, bad habit kind of. I know you're not a big fan of that, so I'm going to reword this to say, is there one not so good habit that people don't realize that they might be doing that's actually causing some sort of big damage?
Great question. And I would say that, and I would say not damage-wise, but it could be depleting your resources. And what I mean by that is this. I think a lot of people feel like that we have a lot of rain or something, and the pool is filled up, and it's too high, and it needs to be something done with that water. Well, what people tend to do, if they've got a sand filter, and I would suggest probably 90% of all consumers in this region have sand filters for their filter mechanism for their pool. They go out there and they backwash. Not good.
Not good.
Waste it off. Don't backwash it. Because here's the thing about, again, talking about the fundamentals of pool care. When your pressure gauge tells you it's time to backwash and rinse, and what we're saying when we use the term backwash and rinse, we're cleaning the sand. Your filter media, it's kind of like, you use the analogy of changing your AC filter, right?
Right.
Yeah, so you want to do that periodically. Well,
Right.
with the sand filter, the filtration method for your pool, you want to clean that periodically. We're not having to replace it. We're just cleaning it. So what people tend to do is when they go out there to say, yeah, I need to get rid of that extra water out of my pool, they put it on the backwash cycle instead of putting it on the waste cycle. And here's why it's not a good idea to do the backwash. Because if the pressure gauge isn't telling you it's time to do it, what you're essentially doing is you're taking all the good stuff out along with the bad stuff. And so
Right.
even though you have a filter that's catching the bad particulate, it's keeping the good stuff in there too, right? So it's helping keep that pool healthy. So if you backwash too often, that could be the bad habit we probably need to get out of. So
Right.
I would encourage folks to make sure that if they are going to be being the one to take care of the pool, and they see an excess amount of water in their pool, put it in the waste cycle to get it where it needs to be in the level of the pool. Don't do the backwash cycle.
Right. Oh,
That's
wow.
a little small fundamental
like
thing, but you'd be surprised because, see, when you're backwashing and wasting, you're taking water out of the pool, right?
Right.
So you're doing the same thing. So people think, well, I'll just backwash my pool. So yeah, let's just make sure that we're wasting off excess water, backwash when needed.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I'm glad you explained it that way. Is there a maybe easy go-to good habit that pool owners can sort of adopt that makes a big difference?
I think routine is important, just like anything in life, right? If you can get into a routine of a habit, my routine is Sunday afternoon around
Right.
my pool. So here I am. I'm living it, so I can explain it and tell it. So it's important to, if you can speak about something because of your experiences, it goes a long way, right? So Sunday afternoons for me is my time. I take 10, 15 minutes max. That has become my habit. That's the good habit, right? Of pool care. And so you go out there, you check your baskets, you check your pressure gauge, you check just anything that you may have on your pool that probably requires just that visual maintenance. And within 10 or 15 minutes, you've got it knocked out. And so that would be a good habit. Just pick a day, and typically one day a week is all it takes. Because if you got an automatic cleaner, like most people do, and if you don't, I would encourage it, because automatic pool cleaners go a long way with helping circulate the water, helping with the chemical balance of the pool, circulation, the filtration, all that, it helps. So one habit, pick a day, pick a time, and get into that routine. So routine is like anything in life. If you can create a routine with your pool, it'll stay healthier.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that, get up every morning and take a walk or get a, whatever
Brush your
it
teeth,
is.
whatever it is, stay healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the good bad habit. I wanted to sort of kind of see where that was on the spectrum. And I like that a lot. Is it true? And I think this goes a long ways with that sort of routine that you're talking about creating and kind of what could be good versus bad practices. Is it true that if the water looks clear, that it is clean?
Great question. That's kind of it's kind of a loaded question. And what I mean by that is that appearance can fool you sometimes. And I would say under most conditions, yes. However, the way we overcome that and get certainty based on that visual is water chemistry. Is to understand what's the pH balance. Is my sanitizer level at a proper level. Those two are the key components. My calcium, making sure it's right in the pool. There are 3 or 4 really key components that keep that water looking healthy and looking clear. And so, I would say that you could assume that if the water is clear and I can see the bottom of my pool and it's beautiful looking, everything's good. However, if there's the other routine and good habit to get into, test that water once a week. We have test strips that you can do on your own at home to test for those fundamental things that we talk about to keep the water healthy. We encourage you to do that. And then once every 6 weeks or so, 4 weeks to 6 weeks, bring it into us and let us test it, because we'll test 4 or 5 different things that you can't test at home to make sure it's healthy. So great question. I would tell you what a misnomer can be is that clear water doesn't always mean that it is completely healthy, because what we will find is that if a pool water's chemistry has gotten off, especially with the pH, if the pH has gotten really low, which means now the water is acidic. Well, if it's acidic, things are going to be clear because nothing can grow in that and everything is going to look pretty healthy probably. But because that pH is real low, you go to get in that water and it's going to feel not completely right. And if you just happen to taste that water by swimming and you get it in your mouth, you'll say, golly, that it almost may taste bitter because the water is acidic. So again, visuals 90% of the time is going to work. However, that peace of mind is that once a week test just to make sure those things are right. So can't always assume that the water is completely healthy just because it's clear.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, is that part of your Sunday routine?
It is.
Along with
my
like
visual,
the baskets
that's exactly right.
Okay.
I can speak to that. So, and because the test strips are inexpensive and they're easy to use, it's peace of mind. It's inexpensive peace of mind that goes a long way in that investment. So we encourage the good habit to be that once a week. And, I think throughout the whole season, season 1, we talked a lot about that, but we wanted to kind of back that up a little bit and make sure people understand that the fundamentals are crucial, but they're easy.
Yes.
They're very easy
Yes.
and simple, and it doesn't require a lot of time. Time is everything. Time is money to people. People don't want to spend. So, if you can spend 15 minutes a week, if you can give 15 minutes a week, you can keep a healthy pool.
Yeah. Which is a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot to hang your hat on.
It is.
Or your pool float. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yes.
Exactly. Whatever feels good.
That's right. That's right. So I was thinking too about one of the things we really were excited about for this second season was kind of a deeper dive into all of these topics and sort of like what goes on behind the scenes of these things. What does it look like when you're building your weekly routine and your maintenance schedules and all of that sort of thing. And I'm thinking about, the pool owner that's dealing with kind of the weather we've had lately, a lot of rain. Does that change? Should it change the way that you are, doing your maintenance every week? Do you do something different? Should you?
Absolutely. And so extreme heat like we've had, a lot of rain like we've had, can have an impact on pool care, no doubt about it. We are susceptible to Mother Nature in that body of water. So sure, your Sunday routine maybe becomes a midweek routine as well, only because, we've had 2 inches or 3 inches of rain this week. let me get out there on Wednesday too, just to make sure everything's good to go. So yes, I would tell you that anytime we have extreme weather, whether it be a lot of rain, extreme heat, maybe add an extra day during that week just to just keep our thumb on it. Again, we can't control the weather, but what we can do is advise how to manage it during those times. And so, again, extreme weather, being more rain or extreme heat, take an extra day during the week just to double check.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And I noticed that, it does when you get all this rain, everything looks a little bit different when it comes to the water. And obviously you've got a higher level. And so you're going to have to adjust a little bit.
That's right.
To get it back to that optimal
That's
that
exactly
you want.
Right. That's right. And it was back to what we were just talking about earlier. One of the bad habits, don't waste or don't just get rid of that water with a backwash cycle. Use the waste cycle to get rid of that additional water that you may have pool captured over the last week or two due to all the rain that we may have had. So yes, and so what it can do, what we have found in the past is that water or rainwater can come in many forms. It depends on if we've had a lot of rain over a period of time. The water teams, the rain seems to be a little more neutral. It's when we go through really hot periods of time, and that first initial rain can be a real game changer, because what you're going to get is all of the particulate that's in the air, it's coming down.
Yeah.
Because the rain is going to bring it. And we've gone through, say, 2 weeks of dry, hot weather, and then we get a rain. That rain is different than the rain we may get today after we had 2 or 3 days of it, right? So it's going to be you got to look at it differently. And again, we don't want to make this a chemistry project.
Right.
What we're trying to do is just try to advise people just to be top of mind in their investment. I've got this beautiful backyard with this beautiful body of water. I get a ton of rain. Let me just double check.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I get extreme heat for a 2 or 3 week period. Let me just double check. It's just one of those things. We take an extra 15 minutes during that week or whatever. But yes, what happens is that rain that comes after 3 weeks of sweltering heat is going to be different, because the makeup will be different particulates, and it can have a different impact on the water chemistry, right?
Right.
As opposed to the rain that we get, say, today versus what may have happened 3 days ago, because now we've had overcast days, whatever the case may be, it's going to be different. So each rain can have a different impact on each pool. But what we found is that, because we're not talking about drastic change,
right,
we're just talking about moving the needle just a little bit. But you get 2, 3, 4, 5 days of rain, then the needle may be a little bit further.
Right.
So it just, again, it's just one of those things when the weather is different and when isn't. Right here, right? So,
so true.
It's like, it's going to be hot. It's going to be 95 today.
Yeah.
Well, it could be 85 tomorrow. But the point is, what we're just trying to do is create that top of mind awareness to the consumer,
right,
that you've got a beautiful investment in the backyard. If we've had some extreme weather, heat related or rain related, just take an extra few minutes during the week to take care of it.
I love that. That's like a chemistry and science lesson all rolled into one. Because I've just got a whole picture of that. Makes sense. That first day, after so many days, it's like everything that particle wise in the atmosphere is like in a big balloon almost. And then first day, boom, everything
exactly right.
comes down with it.
That's exactly
and it's
right.
in your pool.
Yes, right. And so, again, depending on the backyard, depending on what you have in your backyard, the more trees you may have is going to be a different dynamic than if you don't have trees in your backyard. So all those things play a role in the overall chemistry makeup of your pool. So we want to just make people aware of what can be. And if you're just taking those few extra minutes to just double check a few things, you'll find yourself saying, golly, well, that was easy. And boy, I'm not spending any money hardly.
Right.
Really, it's really basic fundamental things. And you take those things and you apply them, you'll find how easy it is, those simple habits.
Right. Yeah. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Let's say this weekend, Jane Smith has a big pool party. And all of a sudden, it comes to the weekend. It's Friday. Pool party's on Saturday. And Jane realizes the water's cloudy. All right. And day before, maybe the evening before, right?
Yeah.
Is there a good practice versus bad practice sort of panic move at the last minute?
I would say this, and back to the preventative care, if it, because again that was a great question. I would say I'm not sure what drove the cloudy water,
Right.
so you've got to understand how it got there,
Sure.
to make sure you know how to treat that, right? So as a pool professional, we say to ourselves, okay, if we're doing the basic fundamental things on a routine basis, hopefully we never see that. All right, so maybe we stumped our toe and we ignored our pool for the last couple of weeks.
Right.
Whatever, life happens. We get it. Life happens. I would tell you, if you've been a good student or a good, I would say, individual who keeps their thumb on things, whether it be your pool or whatever, just whatever in life, and you've taken care of that pool for the last 6 months, and we're getting into maybe Labor Day weekend, like you said, they're going to have a party,
Right.
and they've done all those wonderful, simple things. I would tell you, if they wake up on Friday morning and yesterday it was clear, well, I would say this to that. It didn't happen overnight. That's first and foremost. So let me make sure people understand. It didn't get cloudy overnight just because it was the previous week leading up to that is what caused it to turn cloudy, and we didn't realize it. Well, a lot of times what can be done to help remedy that issue in a kind of a Band-Aid quick fix, we tell people to shock the pool, whatever form of shock they use, whether it be smart shock or burnout or whatever shock that because we've got 3 or 4 different blends of product that we offer. And so depending on what you would use in your pool, we'd just tell them to just do a double shock, make sure there is a sanitizer, whether it be you're using the frog system, or if you're using just standard chlorine tablets, or if you're using salt or whatever, make sure there's a good reading there, that you've got a good source going into the pool. And if you can just kind of give it a double shock, usually within about 6 to 8 hours, you're going to see it make a big change, because as long as they were taking care of it like they should have, and then all of a sudden they just stumped their toe for a week or two, it's going to be quick to get it back where it needs to be.
Right.
If again, so we're going to answer the second fold of this question. If you are maybe someone who has ignored their investment, or maybe didn't take as much time as they should have along the way, then there could be a bigger dynamic there.
Right.
So we would say, give us a call. We can, whether you are a good steward of your pool or if you're not, either way, give us a call. We can maybe give you steps on what to do and what path to go down. But I would tell you, in a quick snapshot answer to that question is, we just double shock, but make sure we do that plenty in advance before the pool party. And you should see some good results from that pretty quick.
Yeah.
So
great advice. I love that. So final question. I'm glad you brought up shocking the pool, because we had a listener question come in that I thought would fit very nicely in this discussion. And the question was, is there a bigger pool care, I'm going to call it a pool care crime, letting your dog swim without rinsing them off, or skipping the shock treatment after a big party?
You know what? That is an excellent question, and I would tell you, I think both of them are going to get about the same answer, because here's what's going to happen with that. And we know people. We have pets at home. I have a dog. Unfortunately, he's not a swimmer, so he doesn't swim. He doesn't. Okay. He doesn't do the pool.
Okay.
But I know we've got a lot of customers that have pets that do the pool, and we get that. And I think there is a sense of, maybe even a sense of family, of allowing the dog to be in the pool, and that's okay. Even though we don't encourage it, we say it's okay, only because the dynamic that comes with that when that dog jumps in the pool,
right?
It can bring a lot of unwanted particulate, just things in the pool that the pool has to work a little harder to maybe keep it clear or sanitized. So I would tell you that, yeah, if you're going to have Fido, Brutus, whoever, going to jump in the pool with you that day, I would encourage him to get a bath before he does.
Yes.
Absolutely 100% encourage that, because if not, just know that there's a little bit of a consequence that comes with that.
Yeah.
Back to the second part of that question is, after a big pool party, whether it be kids or adults or whatever the case is, and you've had 15 or 20 people in the pool all weekend long, yeah, if you don't shock the pool after that visit, you're going to see it visually.
Yeah.
You're going to see it visually. So you're going to know that pool is going to probably look a little hazy. It's going to look a little dingy compared to what it was on Friday before the weekend. And then, so we highly encourage, we call it swimmer waste. People sweat. Even when you're in the pool, your body tends to sweat. And so we want to burn that off. We want to get rid of that, get it into your filter, get it filtered out. And the best way to do it is with a good shock treatment after the party.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, you want to just, again, that would be that extra step of normal pool care just to make sure it stays healthy.
Yeah, because on Sunday, we're all, standing at the kitchen window thinking, man, our friends are dirty. I mean, why do we have gross friends?
Did you cut the grass before you came over? Yeah, I know. Yeah.
We have gross friends. Oh, well, that's great advice.
Yeah.
I like it. Great advice. Well, this has been really good. Good versus bad practices. Of course, we've got fantastic links in the show notes of this episode for you to go and find out more and ask your questions as well. Marshall, it's always a good time to sit down with you. Thank you.
Always enjoy it. Thank you for the time.
Let the celebrations continue. The team at Pride Pools is excited to give you a huge anniversary special. Actually, 3 of them. To celebrate 50 years all year long, you can get up to $10,000 in savings on 3 anniversary fiberglass pools. There are 3 sizes to choose from: the backyard size, the family size, and the fun size. How cool is that? So stop by the Claxton or Savannah locations of Pride Pools or go to pridepools.com for more information. Thanks for listening. Come by and meet your local pool and spa experts in Claxton on Highway 280 West or in Savannah on Gateway Boulevard South, or go to pridepools.com. If you love backyard family fun as much as we do, be sure to give us a rating and review and subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. And if you have a question or topic you'd love for us to cover, drop us an email, info@pridepools.com. or tap the links for Facebook or Instagram in the show notes of this episode. We'd love to hear from you. Now let's go make a splash and have some backyard family fun.
Pride Pools Spa.